morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the 14th of November, and as you can see, I've been playing around with my green screen. It's definitely this particular camera. I've narrowed it down to that, but I went through all this trouble this morning, so I know it looks a little strange. I got the halo back, the colors aren't quite right. The smoothness between myself and the background is not the best, and our connection is having problems. So all of those things are working against us this morning, but I decided to come on anyway and see what I could do with this for a number of reasons. The first being that, as I've pointed out in the title, those who say they are Americans and are not, but do lie. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and remove this. I'm seeing that the green screen is causing a problem here, so let's just go ahead and get rid of that. So pardon me for doing this, but I think you'll appreciate it in the long run. Okay, so now we'll have a black background. See if that changes it. No, it doesn't. Sorry I have to do all this technical stuff while we're talking, but sometimes it's just necessary. And like I said, I don't have a producer to take care of all this, so I pretty much have to do it myself. So let's see if I can get rid of this thing here now. Alright, and it's going to go back to the green screen. But you know what? What the heck? I'll adjust the color just a little bit. Sorry about that. Like I said, it's having some problems with the transmission. Let's just see if it's even going. It's jumping around quite a bit. So we have a bad connection today. Why does that not surprise me? Okay, so we're going to do one more thing here. And then we should be good to go, I think. It's funny how that green screen can play with your colors. The camera, like I say, is just not up to doing this, and I shouldn't have wasted your time with it this morning, so I do apologize for that. Okay. See all these adjustments I'm making, what it does to the picture. It's really weird, isn't it? Now we're going to go with that, okay, for now. And I won't use this camera again. It's way off color. So what? I'm not even sure that we're going to be able to get this out today. It looks like there's some severe problems with the transmission, as normal. Okay, now what the heck? Let's see what the chat's doing here. As long as you can hear me, I'm good to go. It's going to jump around. As I've often explained, the area appears Stone Age still, pretty much, and unfortunately, we run into these problems frequently. However, I will tell you, I'm going to be in the better studio tonight. I am planning on doing a nightcap tonight, and we're going to talk about the Nimitz situation that happened back in 2004. It's made the Drudge Report again today. There's been some interesting information come out about that. That's one of the topics we're going to talk about. One of my buddies, a police officer friend of mine, he said after the last two shows that I've done, actually the last three videos I put at live streams, he said, "Roy, this is so depressing." He says, "I know you're right, but you got to do something more lighthearted to break this depression." And so I said, okay, we'll do a nightcap tonight, and we'll talk about the Nimitz deal with the flying saucer and all that. And we'll also talk about some other lighthearted things tonight. So that'll be at 8 o'clock tonight. I'll have the timer on here to show you that it's coming up tonight. And I think that'll just be kind of enjoyable, and we won't have these green screen problems. And I won't use the green screen anymore with this at all. I just wanted to try it today just to see if I could get it to adjust, and it just won't. Okay, so what do I mean by the title of this? Those who say they are Americans and are not, but do lie. Ladies and gentlemen, ideological differences are understood, okay? But ideological differences that tear down the framework of our republic, of what we're supposed to stand for, should not be permitted. And I'm sorry, I am going there. You can talk about it, but you can't do anything to take it apart. If anyone, and I don't care who they are, attack the Bill of Rights in any way, shape, or form, or try to infringe upon those in any way, shape, or form, they are not Americans. And I know this is going to cause a firestorm of disagreement, but ladies and gentlemen, we have to start nailing down. We can't use religion. We can't use morality. I'd like to, but it's just not going to work. We have to have something fixed. And what needs to be fixed, immutable, immovable, irreplaceable at this point, is the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and a strict interpretation thereof. The living document idea came out when the progressives and the leftists wanted to start changing us. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go back to it might be too late, but that's how you're going to tell who the real Americans are, and that's why I put this up there. By their fruits you shall know them. If they go for the perfect law of liberty, if they don't want to take away your rights, First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth, all of the things that we've talked about, if they're not out there pushing for any kind of restrictions on your rights, they're Americans. If they do, they're not, and they are the enemy, and that's how I'm looking at it from now on. I'm not going to pull the punches. I don't care who they are, from the president on down to some homeless guy walking around on the street. That's the definition from now on, and I think we need to stick to it, because every time we try to compromise on these things for the good of the whole, this is where it goes. So that's where I am today. You don't stand up for the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. You try to interpret the Second Amendment to mean only hunting weapons, or that you can't have an AR-15 or whatever because some criminal uses it. You're not an American. And you wasted my time in my military service and all of those who have gone before me and currently by doing this. We have to take a stand. And the Democrats are leftist, Marxist, Stalinists, Chaikovs. Bottom line, I don't care who they are. If this is going to come down to a fight, we might as well draw the line right now, because never again will we allow anyone to subjugate and to tear apart the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Only increasing our rights. In other words, well, you can't increase the rights because they're God-given, but recognizing what they are and protect them by the government. We've got to stop all this stuff. And like I've said to Trump, the Bill of Rights is non-negotiable. You can't use it for compromise or for political banter, political negotiation. We have to be done. So who are the Americans, the real Americans? Those who support and defend the Constitution of the United States, including the Bill of Rights. Period. No living document baloney. It has to be exact. It has to be verbatim. It has to be literal. Unfortunately, I know where that can go. Okay? I've seen it, when people take the Bible literally, for instance. I talk about that quite a bit, right? There are problems with that if you don't understand the euphemisms of the time and you try to apply modern-day euphemisms, understandings to some of those things. It can cause some problems. But the Constitution is relatively new enough, and the Bill of Rights are relatively new enough, and we know enough from the Federalist Papers and from what happened that all these people, for instance, I had an attorney once that said, well, the Second Amendment is only for the militia, and the militia is the National Guard. The people don't have a right to have arms. I should have fired his ass right then, because that's the kind of attorney he was, and that's how he approached everything. We have to be done with this, ladies and gentlemen. No quarter, no excuse. Stand your ground and tell them bullshit from now on, as I'm going to. There's no more negotiation. You step on the Bill of Rights and you're the enemy, and you're not an American by definition. Okay? You might be, you might be Chinese, you might be Iranian, you might be who knows where else. I don't want to name any particular countries because some of them are still pretty good, even though they're not anywhere close to a republic. But the point is, you don't stand for the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, you're not an American by definition, as far as I'm concerned anymore. Okay, that's how I look at it. Okay, Roger Stone, I wanted to bring him up real quick. Roger Stone is going through a hell of an ordeal. We knew it was going to be. They stacked the jury against him. This is what I mean about Americans. The juries are supposed to be for the protection of the people, but the feds have made it so that it's a protection for their convictions. They stack the juries. They've been doing it for a long time. I feel bad for Roger Stone. Anybody that stands up for Trump gets the raw end of the deal. And his supposed lies to Congress. I haven't examined his testimony before Congress, but the fact of the matter is, here we go again. They'll go after a stone. What about people that lied to Congress? Hillary Clinton, James Comey, McCabe, Strzok, Page probably actually didn't. Clapper, Brennan. This two-tiered system of justice is not American. And you'll see how the leftist Marxists are using it. When they want to stroke the American people, like Pelosi, she'll say, we have to protect our Constitution. We have to defend our Constitution. And then she turns her back on it the next minute. This is ridiculous, and nobody's holding them accountable. This is bad. As I said earlier in the week, and I'm sorry for the more bad news, but this thing is not progressing well. I'm not even listening to Geneva and Jarrett and all those people anymore. I'm just not. And certainly the Twitterites and the people that push the hopium deals, I'm not listening to. Well, I really haven't listened to them because it's not going that way. It's really not. Those are all placations as far as I'm concerned, and that's the way it looks at this point. So you better buckle up and get ready because I don't think this is going to turn out well, as I've already said. Roger Stone, I want to go back to him for a minute. This is a travesty of justice, not just because it's an unequal application of the law, but because he really didn't do anything wrong. Lying to Congress is a problem. Yes, lying to the FBI is a problem, but it's been made to be more than it really is for the sake of, it's like I said, and has been pointed out by other people. You don't remember details about certain things, all right? And they want to hold you accountable for it. And yet when they're not able to recall details, like this situation with the Peter Strzok and Pienka memos, the 302s, it's just a mistake, it's an oversight, it's an error, we made a goof. This has got to stop. Is Barr going to fix it? No, I don't believe it anymore. And again, like I said the other day, I don't care what he and Durham do. If they grab a handful of people to make an example of them, that's not going to fix the problem, and you know how I feel about that. So at any rate, keep your eye on Roger Stone. Yes, pray for him. That's not going to do a whole lot of good, I'm afraid. Isn't that disgusting to say that? But I think it's just the case. We've dug this ditch, and we're in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. We've allowed it to happen. Boy, that really looks nasty, doesn't it? Almost looked like Halloween. If I took down the green screen, it'd fix that quick. But I'm not going to do that. We'll just leave it there. I could drop the green screen right away, but I'll just let it be. Okay. The Senate GOP leadership is turning its back on Trump. I don't believe that this is trying to uphold the integrity of the Senate. I don't believe that's what this is. I actually think that they are getting ready to take Trump down. There's a picture in, let me just read this. There was a picture of McConnell, my Senator Barrasso, which disgusts me how he's been treating this thing. Barrasso, McConnell, Cornyn, and I forget the other one, the GOP leadership, they're saying that they will conduct a trial. I'll just read the tweet from him. It's The Last Refuge, put it out on Twitter yesterday. And it's from the conservative treehouse again, and you can find it in the mainstream as well. Senate GOP leadership warns Trump, any White House attempt to dismiss impeachment charges will fail. In other words, they could come in and say that due to the nature of the impeachment and the fact that there's no cause of action in reality, that they would move for dismissal. And what McConnell and Corbyn and Barrasso have said is, no, you can't do that. We're just going to go ahead and have the trial. So what Lindsey Graham has been saying, again, is placation. If this whole impeachment inquiry business, it'll be dead on arrival in the Senate. No, apparently not. Okay? We're being set up. Trump's being set up. Again, Trump being set up is just to get to us, to get at the true Americans. That's why I said and named this live stream what I did today. So we're in a lot of trouble. Whether they're compromised, whether they're bribed, extorted, complicit, whether they're just trying to be civil to the other side, or are they cowards? I don't know. But they've been trying to placate the Dems for too long. The Dems can get in there and do, the leftists can do anything they want, and the GOP lets them get away with it. Why? Because it's really not a left-right paradigm. It's a false left-right paradigm. These people are all the same. They're all buddies and they're all working together. That's nothing new. This country is ripe for destruction, and it's going to happen from the inside out, apparently. What can I say? You can't have a country that's based on lies and subterfuge and deceit and greed. Unfortunately, most of our economic growth over the last little while has not really been internally to the United States. I don't know if you've studied this very much, but most of it's because of overseas investments. Talk to an economist and see if I'm right or not. That's why we keep seeing businesses close here. If you don't have the ability to invest in foreign countries, in foreign corporations, you're not doing well. Okay? By and large. I mean, there are exceptions, of course, like anything else. But in this neck of the woods, you can drive around and see all the businesses that are shutting down. Okay. So I wanted to bring that up, and then also I want to bring up that they're of course, the Real ID situation is now totally in. And I'll just read this real quick. It says, beginning no later than October 1st, 2020, that's less than a year away, citizens of all U.S. states and territories will be required to have a Real ID compliant card or passport to board a commercial plane or enter a federal government facility. But not the illegal aliens, not ISIS, not Muslims from Somalia. Why? And why the surveillance over phones, our emails? Everything we do now is surveilled. Well, I'm going to tell you why, okay? And this has been said before by some other people who are very into this, okay, who understand what's happened. There is a philosophy. Christians and all of you, Bible thumpers and all these people, just listen to me for a minute, okay? Just listen. Don't go off the deep end and say, Potter's teaching Luciferianism. He doesn't follow Jesus, etc., etc. He thinks God is... Just listen to their philosophy. Will you do that for just a second? The esoteric societies believe that God progresses. And the way he progresses, or it progresses as they would prefer to say, is through his creation. In other words, they say that you exist so that your experience can be uploaded to God's consciousness, for lack of a better term, and he can experience that through you. You see where I'm going with this? All life is that way, even innate objects. They believe that all of these things are God's way of experiencing things so he can become omniscient. Are you listening to me here? Whether that's true or not doesn't matter, okay? That is their concept. Now, if you have satanic, evil ideas that you want to replace God, like Satan, the war in heaven, take God's throne, if you want to become God, and Ray Kurzweil said this is nothing new if you look it up. This is all designed, this is what the AI is about. Everything is going into a central storage of sorts that can then be accessed by the elites. They can become gods because knowledge is power. Do you understand? There have been movies about this, where like in Matrix, you can upload the information on how to fly a helicopter and then do it. that kind of stuff. That's where they're going, and that is why they're doing everything. The control is now clamping down because they are hungering and thirsting to be God. And they want to have all of that knowledge to themselves. As Ray Kurzweil said, he doesn't believe in God. He wants to be God. He wants to be the first one. I'm not saying that it's real. There are some very poignant and important points to be made with that, but I'm not going there philosophically today. I just want to tell you that that's what's happening. These are evil people. They have placed themselves in a position to be like Satan in the former world. That they will make everything right, and that because they will, they want God's throne. They want all the power, all of everything. Now, that probably shouldn't surprise any of you. It's a very simplistic explanation, but that's exactly what has happened. This is, as I've said so many times, a continuation of the war in heaven. It really, really is. So, again, I guess the end result of this thing right now is, and I've already given you the information of the last few days about how I'm looking at the Pentagon and the military taking part in this coup. It's real. It's not. I see. Yeah, I love Dan Bongino, but he sits there and he talks about how bad the Democrats are doing, that their whole thing is falling apart. No, it's not. No, it's not. They are doing this to provide cover for a takedown of Trump and the American ideals of liberty. He's missing the big picture. It doesn't matter if Schiff is stepping on himself. It doesn't matter if Jordan is out there and Nunes calling him out. There are people in this country, and too many of them, that want this destruction because they're evil, they're depraved. That's who they're playing to, and they're everywhere. It's almost like that movie, what was it, They Exist, or whatever the heck it was, the guy with the sunglasses, I've come to chew bubblegum and shoot my shotgun or whatever, and I'm all out of bubblegum, however he put that. That's where we are. This is a real division, and this is a very dangerous time. So I don't care if Schiff is making an idiot of himself. You just heard what I said from the GOP. They will do a trial. They will, regardless. If the articles of impeachment are finalized and sent to the Senate, the GOP leadership says there will be a trial. Not like Lindsey Graham said, it'll be dead on arrival, or like Dan Bongino's now saying, no, they're just being idiots. Everything they're doing is falling apart. No, it's not, because they don't need excuses. They don't need truth. They don't need facts. They don't need evidence. Remember, these are people that follow the Luciferian satanic idea, that love and love lies and make them. That's who these people are. And we have too many that have let them get away with it. Look at how they're attacking President Trump and the rest of us, like Roger Stone is on the front line right now, people like that. Look how they're attacking them. Think about this. How many things could they have done to investigate Obama and refuse to do it? And it wasn't just because he was a black president. That was just cover so that they didn't have to. We don't know about his educational background. We don't know where he really came from. We don't know his real name. We know about the situation he made with Iran, the agreement there, which was really funny because people at the time said he had every right to do that, diplomacy. And now that Trump was trying to do something similar, but for a righteous reason with Ukraine, those same people are saying that he's committing treason. These people are crazy. They are literally crazy. Evil crazy. So Fast and Furious, the IRS scandal. We could name them all. But nobody goes and looks into Obama. President Trump today, I don't give a damn about Obama being a previous president. President Trump today should demand that all of his records be unsealed. To hell with the court decisions. Just do it. Desperate times call for desperate measures. We're past the point of no return. We either have to fight this thing or we just give up. We get down on our knees and say, Uncle, is Trump going to lead us down that path? Because he's afraid to act, because he wants to solve this in some kind of a civil way, which obviously now cannot be done? We're in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. It's like I said, we're in trouble. You better enjoy your coffee, maybe a little black spiced rum. No, I haven't got that in here. I don't drink this early in the morning. Matter of fact, I really don't drink that much at all. It's mostly for show. Mostly to make a statement that I'm not a goody two-shoes, prudish. Anyway. Let's see how the picture's looking. It's bad. Yeah, there's something else going up line. Like I said, I shouldn't even try to do any kind of green screen activity here, because what happens is it just overloads the internet connections here, which are already screaming for bandwidth. I mean, it's almost impossible. So that's why we have all these problems. So I apologize. That's the last time I'll apologize. I know they'll say, stop apologizing, just get on with it. So that's all I wanted to do today. This thing with Roger Stone is a travesty. The federal government continues to, the FBI and the DOJ are still out of control. Barr is not holding them to task. Not even following the Constitution, not even following laws of evidence and procedure of being tried by a jury of your peers. They're not doing that. These people are pre-selected in federal juries to go the way that the prosecution wants them to. And what's worse is, and I heard this said the other day, I don't know who said it, but I'm going to repeat it. Forgive me if it was somebody on my Twitter or where else. They notice there are no black people on the jury. Why is that? You know why? Because most of the white people in D.C. are liberal, progressive, Stalinist type people. And that's who they want on the juries. The blacks know that the government's corrupt. They've been reamed by the government for decades. So that's why this guy said that's why there are no blacks on there, because they'd say, hey, no, the government's railroading this guy. They'd be honest about it. The damn white Stalinist, leftist, Marxist won't. Yeah, what can I say? Yeah, Jack Kennedy, you're right. When they go swat a 60, I guess he was 66 at the time, Roger Stone swat he and his wife in the middle of the night, early morning hours. They've never done that. They did it to Manafort. Clinton? Oh, no. Obama? No. Holder? No. Clapper? No. Comey? No. Comey, they go knock on his door and they say, hey, we got to come in and talk to you about, and then they find his notes, right? Oh, but he doesn't get arrested for having classified information. Ladies and gentlemen, this is done, and we just have to admit it. Trump has to go to war. There's no other. The ballot box isn't going to work. You got McConnell and my Barrasso out there. I was going to run for Senate in Wyoming, but you know what? I wouldn't have a prayer. I'd be wasting my time, just like I did when I ran for sheriff in Salt Lake County back in 1986. Elson James, I see what you're saying. There's not much more to say. We are in for a fight or not. Yeah, just don't say you're going to start it, okay? I think we had that discussion once before. All right. Merely defending yourselves against this is going to be bad enough. Okay, they're going to say that your defense against them and again. Well, it's just like Antifa now. You defend like the Proud Boys in New York. You defend yourselves against Antifa, and you're the ones that go to prison. You don't have a right to self-defense, which has been the case in Britain and Germany and France for a long time, and they're bringing this here now. So Americans, you're not an American if you don't support and defend the perfect law of liberty and the Constitution. I know it's not perfect, but the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, as a as a guide, okay? As a mark. If you fall short of that mark, you're not an American. And you can spout the Constitution like Pelosi does, or Kamala Harris, or any of these other jerks, all you want, but unless you actually stand for it and do not say that you want to take away the rights of the American people, if you say you want to infringe on those rights at all, you are not an American, and we need to start looking at them as invaders, as traitors, as infiltrators, as enemy soldiers, because that's what they are. Do you realize that CIA agents are considered soldiers? Did you know that? So, ladies and gentlemen, that's where I am. Okay, I'm not going to take any more of your time today. I'd answer some more stuff. Gisele Hetu, Roy, can you contact Prez again, please? I don't have contact with the president. I address him because I'm hoping somebody will say, hey, look what this guy said, which happened. It's been way over a year ago now, almost 2 years ago. Somebody did do that, and I got a letter from him, but he's not going to answer me. I'm a nobody. Okay, like Monograph says, I'm a nobody, and I am, and I realize that. I don't have illusions of grandeur. Okay, we all need to just keep tweeting him, sending him emails, calling the White House. But I understand that those messages, if they are getting to them, they aren't making enough of an impression, if they're even getting to him. We're on our own, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care what Trump does. I don't care. I mean, look at him. He's sitting there allowing them to do this stuff in the House. He doesn't even defend himself. All he does is say witch hunt. Where the hell? Why doesn't he send? As a matter of fact, I read another thing where Mueller, who thought that Trump may come to arrest Mueller and those guys, or at least take them out of their, take down the special counsel's office. And they had plans. Get this. They had plans because they knew that Trump might get the marshals to come over and arrest them and seize the files that they had. So they were making these files so they could transport classified information over to the Congress. Damn, Trump should have done it. It scared the shit out of him. And rightly so. That's where, and this pussyfooting around, sorry to use that vernacular, but it just fits. Pussyfooting around is not going to do anything but put off the inevitable. We have peace in our time, as Chamberlain said, right? You remember that? For the Second World War, he went and made this agreement with Hitler. Oh, Hitler, go ahead and take Poland. That's okay. We're going to negotiate Poland like it was his right to do that. And then he comes back to England and he says, we have peace in our time. We have peace in our time. And they were at war within a year. Trump, you can't do this to us. You have to attack. You have to attack, and you have to attack today. Badam Bar, Badam Durham. There's enough evidence already. Go talk to Tom Fitton. That's who needs to talk to the president. Tom Judicial Watch. And I know, Lionel the other day was saying, Jim Jordan, he's saying the same thing over and over and over again. I know. Oh, Judicial Watch is saying the same thing over and over and over again. Where's the action? We keep filing these court suits and stuff, FOIAs, etc., but we never really get to the end result. We never get it done. Well, that's not their fault, Lionel. That's because the damn White House won't step up to the plate. That's why. So that's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm going to say this. Finest Plan 1 says, commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, Psalm 37:5. I will say this, okay? I'm talking principles. I doubt very seriously if any of you, and I don't mean to insult anyone, but I doubt that any of you, if any of you, have ever been really in God's presence and shaken his hand or embraced him. And I mean physically, literally. Okay, I doubt that. By the same token, I very much doubt any of you, if any of you, have ever shaken hands with the real devil or embraced him. And you'll say, oh, he's a spirit, you can't do it. Don't miss the point here. When you take the name of Jesus upon yourself, you're supposed to extol and exhibit those attributes. You become one with him in your heart and mind, in your principles. That's what the Satanists do. They are in their hearts and minds at one with Satan. It is the divide. Choose you this day who you will serve. You either bring the good attributes into you and act accordingly, or you bring the bad ones. Or you're lukewarm and you just don't give a crap, in which case that's really the bad side. Find out what the principles are and embed them inside your heart, your mind, your spirit. Be that change in the world you want to see. Because the world isn't going to change for you, ladies and gentlemen. If it wouldn't change for the Son of God 2,000 years ago, it ain't going to change for you today. That was my final realization. Not that you don't try to do good, but don't keep your expectations up too high either, only on yourself. Jesus is going to fix it when he comes back. You know, I'd be careful with that one too. I'd be careful with that one. This is the crucible here. This is the crucible. This is the wine press. This is where God already knows, but this is where you find out where you fit in. And I'm not so sure this school is ever going to go away. And if this particular one does, because we're stupid enough to blow ourselves to ashes and dust, I think there's another one somewhere. Some people say, no, this is the center of the universe. Only life is here. This is where whatever. You're missing the point if you want to get arguing with me on those technicalities. I like that shockwave. Spread love no matter what. Yeah. But when it's time to defend yourselves, do it with ruthlessness and immediate. You know, if you've ever taken martial arts, surprise and violence. You don't talk about what I'm going to do. You don't say anything. Trump talks too much. He says what he's going to do, never does it, and gives nice little speeches. No action. It's time for surprise and violence. I'm sorry, it's time. There is no choice at this point. Again, if this impeachment, if they finally get through this inquiry, right now it's a show to give cover to anybody who wants to take Trump out. Do you understand that? In the intelligence community or in the military, if they want to take Trump out, this is the cover for it. Do you understand? It's what I said the other day. Damn what Bongino says about they look ridiculous. That's not the point, what this is about. It's not even about the election anymore. It's about giving cover to people to take Trump out and his supporters. That's what this is. I've said that several times now, very emphatically. If Trump doesn't act, if he doesn't look at this thing like what it is, it's a real war, and they're going to destroy us. If he doesn't understand that, we're at a point where, yeah, that's TikTok all right, but it's not to take down the deep state. It's about our destruction, our return into total slavery. We're right around the corner. And Trump even goes along with some of that. 5G, for instance. Having the social networks surveil you to find out if you're violent so that they can come and get your guns. Decide your mental capacity. They want to find him, under the 25th Amendment, mentally unstable, but he can't see how they could use those same kind of shenanigans against the American people without any evidence, without any Fourth Amendment probable cause. He doesn't understand the Constitution, or he doesn't care. And he needs to act. He needs to act. It's way beyond time now. Okay. Thanks for putting up with me this morning. This was as much a little experiment with that. And again, I promise, I will not try to use the green screen from this location anymore. I think the bandwidth here is like, I mean, it's like minimal. You know, you can watch Netflix. You can get on the internet and do email. You can even watch YouTube videos. But if you're trying to upload, it's tough. It's tough. And so I've really put you all out today by doing this. It really does look funny. Um, I should have used this on Halloween, you know. But anyway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I would take some questions, but we got to watch what's happening today. I, we need to keep ourselves informed. I didn't really cover any really detailed stuff other than just some general. So thank you for coming. I only answered a few of the chats here. I hope you all had some. Well, yeah, Brandon Herbert. I know. What is your bit rate? I know. I've adjusted all that. I've dropped my bit rate. I've added a Wi-Fi. I forget what they call it now, but it improves the Wi-Fi connection in your house where different places are weak. That's not it. It is in the service. Okay, it is in the service. There's nothing I can do about that. There's no way they can upgrade the service out here. They just won't do it. Not enough money, I guess, for it or whatever. I'm not sure what it is. So, but thank you for trying to help me. But I've already looked at all that. I already know what the problem is. Okay, like right now, was it yesterday or day before Tuesday? You know, I did that live stream. Of course, I wasn't trying to use a green screen. I was just using the map, which is right behind this green screen. But you know, it went up that day because I guess everybody was gone. You know, people leave and they're out doing things. But if they're at home on the internet, it's impossible. You know, I should know that. I should know that. Okay. I already tried that. Yeah, you asked Robert Stahl if the software responds to tone changes in the backdrop. I've adjusted all that. I've done all that. That's not the issue. Again, well, first of all, the camera is a problem. But as far as the transmission, it's all in the line. If the line is crammed up with people that are doing things, there's no way I can get out. If they're gone, then you get a crisp, clean, pretty much, you know, signal. So I've checked all that. I already know what it is. I don't even know if they're actually messing with me. Oh, that brings up one more thing before I go. Yes, as I've already said, and some people are reminding me that the YouTube is going to take down or threatening to take down any channels that are not commercially viable. I have very few commercials on this channel. I'm not monetized, never have been, as I explained the other day, never will be. I want my message to be free from commercialization, other than the little bit that Pam Jones had to do for my introductions when she had those, like at the beginning of this channel when you watch her introduction of what used to be the Potter Expositor, and I've left that up there because it gives some history of things. Those ads that you see are not for me, and not even for Pam. I understand they are for the original creators of those, and they get a royalty. Will that be considered commercially viable by YouTube? I kind of doubt it. I kind of doubt it. So I don't expect to be around after December 10th or shortly thereafter, and that's okay. I have talked to people about going to some other venues. You know, I don't know that that's worthwhile. I really don't. I appreciate all of you who would probably follow me there, but I think we're going to be involved in trying to do. By then, you should have all the information you need to know where you have to be and what you have to do. So it might be time, you know, for real activity at that point to get yourselves ready. When the IG report comes out, if it actually does, you know, Barr again said, oh, the FISA investigation is imminently coming out. We heard the other day that McCabe is not indicted. Did you know that? Yeah, that came out. People were saying, I think even Jones was saying, you know, McCabe has been indicted. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Okay, thanks everybody. I'm going to go. Tonight, 8 p.m. Now, 8:30 p.m. We'll start 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Okay, 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. I will be doing a nightcap tonight. I'm going to try to have a really nice background, even though we're going to talk about flying saucers and stuff. So, and some other lighthearted things for tonight. Make it a real nightcap. I'm going to try to do a lot of the chat tonight because I want it to be interactive. If you all have information that you'd like to bring out about your personal experiences or whatever that, I will bring them up as best I can. The chat jumps quite a bit, but I will try to make it as interactive as possible. Okay? All right. I notice now, for instance, I'm having a green light on my transmission. That's because people are dropping off the internet at this point. Let me play around with something here while I've got you, if you don't mind. I just want to try to see what happens when I mess with the color one more time. You know, the green screen can really do some weird things to you because the camera sees the green and then tries to compensate for it. Let's just see what I can do here just out of curiosity. Let me see here. If I bring this up. Yeah, it's still weird. See what I'm doing? I'm playing with the white balance and everything. Oh man, it's crazy. Yeah, the controls on this camera are not the best. Oh, here we are. We're getting there. Right about there. Of course, I won't need that now. But I just wanted to kind of look at it. So I'm going to restore to the defaults. Watch this. I've gone back to the defaults because I'm not going to use the green screen anymore. Yeah, when you're the producer, the director, and trying to do all the information. Now I'm really bright red. That's because of this. If I drop the green screen, the white balance would fix it. But that's where we are, folks. Thanks a lot for coming. We'll see you tonight, 8:30 Mountain Time, and we're going to talk about the Nimitz encounter in 2004. All right? Thanks a bunch. Out here for now. Keep your eyes on the horizon, your ears to the ground, situational awareness on high, and keep prepping, praying, and planning on staying out of the way. And tell Trump to get his ass moving. He can't hold back and do this politically anymore. The ballot box isn't going to work. They're going to take it from him there, take it from us, and they're giving cover to anybody that wants to take him and his supporters out at this point. This is not good. Third world banana republic. This is a civil war, and it's about ready to go hot. Out here.